What's up, friends? I'm just wondering what that aura do, boo. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Hello, loves. Hello. Welcome to Charlie's Truth YouTube channel, a playground for adults. My name is Charlie, and I am an intuitive soul guide and energy channeler. I prioritize simplicity, practicality, and love in all that I do. So today we are continuing with our soul remembrance through the lens of human design. And if you're new to human design, there are links in the description that will take you either to the introduction video, or there's also a link to my website where I also share information about human design. And there's also the Google. So feel free to explore any of those. But if you want to know what we're doing around here, please check out the introduction video, because it does let you know what my plans are with human design and with this channel. So please tune in. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the aura types. And I'm super excited to talk about these and to really kind of give you a visual, maybe. We'll see. So aura types are one of the 3 areas of the human design system that I highly recommend that we get familiar with, that we experiment with to begin with, and that we really set our foundation for human design through. I truly do believe that when I learned about my type, my authority, and my strategy, as well as my profile, I started there. That's where I started my work. And even after I learned about it, I took time off from human design and I just kind of sort of experimented with it. Whether it wasn't on purpose, really, it was just like, this is a lot to take in. Like, what does it even mean? And so as I saw the benefits of the experiment and practice, knowing my type and being mindful of my strategy and my authority, it really helped me to see how the system can be implemented and how it can support us in our journey of soul remembrance and our journey of just getting to know ourselves on a deeper level and deconditioning, reprogramming ourselves from what we've been told we were, into really actually allowing the truth and the soul essence of us to emerge. Because that's what human design, I feel like, supports us and helps guide us through. Our types concern the body, our genetics, and our aura. Each type defines a particular mode of operating energetically. So this isn't about personality or psychology typing. We're really focusing on an energetic makeup of a being. So definitions determine what type we are, and our type is expressed through our aura. And so when I'm talking about definition, I am talking about the parts in our body graph that is colored in. When you look at the body graph, you'll notice that there's some colored in shapes. Those colored in shapes are our definition. So with that definition is what determines what type we are, what our aura is doing, but it's all determined on the definition within our body graphs. So all humans are surrounded by this invisible energy field around them. They say that it extends about 6 feet in front of us, around on the side of us, and in the back of us. The frequency of our aura is communicating core information, core data with those around us. And it's a great tool for us being able to exchange information. And it impacts the way we relate to others and connect with them. We use our aura to taste the aura of those around us, not just the people, but also the places, the energy of it, the health of it. What vibration, what frequencies is it letting out for us? When you be like, I'm not feeling their vibe, I'm not feeling their energy, that is what you're talking about. You're picking up on someone's energetic field. Okay, you're communicating with them energetically. And so yes. So according to Ra, and I'm going to read this, auras are a full expression of the being and controlling agent of the way the form is going to work. Auras are the way we connect to and are experienced by the other. This information within the human design system and within my chart specifically has invited me into expanding my awareness of myself, and as well as supporting me in creating deep and intentional connections with others. I really do believe in quality relationships over quantity. And by knowing my human design and learning about my friends and family's human design, I've really been able to connect and support them in ways that are new for both of us and different for us. But we get to experiment with that. And I'm meeting people where they at and where their aura is actually communicating with me. Even when I don't know someone's energetic type, I can feel their energy. So I kind of get a sense now of like who is more of an open aura, who is more of a repelling, closed off aura, whose aura is like kind of penetrating and deep into me. Like there are so many levels to what an aura feels like. But nonetheless, a lot of us have the opportunity to actually feel into auras. Discovering your aura type, I believe, is the first step to understanding your human design and how it works. Knowing and understanding your aura type can help you in experiencing a more aligned life and experience within yourself. Just FYI, I did not go into the history of human design, but Ra is the individual or being that channel a lot of this information and how to synthesize these systems together in order to create this system. They are what I would consider the channeler or the oracle to provide this information to us. So, yes. So according to Ra, each energy type has their own role within society to help us operate in a healthy and organic way. So this is what Ra has to say. In a perfect world, manifestors get things started, projectors guide the process, generators provide the energy to realize or complete it, and reflectors tell us how well it is going. So let's get into these aura types, and I'm going to provide the visual I get about the auras from my own experience and perspective. And so that's what you will hear. And at the same time, I'll also add a graphic here so that you can see a visual of what I imagine. And so I hope that that is helpful for you as it was for me to create it and to tap into it. So let's do it. Blessing. Okay. Come on in. We up to manifesting generators. What's up, manifesting generators? Let's talk about it. What that aura do, boo? What that aura do, boo? So I got all this energy because that is the energy of the manifester. They be outside. They be ready for a good time. They ready to party. They ready to get into it. And that's how I feel when I think about them. I feel like I just gave y'all the most energy that I gave every video so far. So you're welcome. That's how I feel about y'all. So, okay. So, manifesting generators, just to be clear, they are consistent energy types. Manifesting generators are a consistent energy type because they have a defined sacral center, okay? And we have already established that defined sacral centers are motors. And not only is the sacral a motor, but it represents the vital life force, reproduction, sustainability, and sexuality. Is very different from all the other motors. This is a vital life force, and it is sustainability is part of it, which means you can keep going and going and going and going. Okay, manifesting generators roles. Let's talk about that first. So they are the impact creator. They are the trailblazers. So for manifesting generators, their work is the gift, their gift to the world. We all are providing a gift. We all are providing a purpose. And our manifesting generators are out here being our worker bees, being another level of worker bees. So between generators and manifesting generators, they make up approximately 70% of the entire population. Let's think about that. 70% of the entire population. I've said in other videos, right, a lot of times within our society, especially if you're in the United States, I'm going to speak to that because I like to speak from experience, especially you in the United States. I feel like we have a habit of like whatever is the most known or respected is what's the norm. And I feel like if generators are the most popular energy type, then it's easy to assume that most people think that all of us should be out here being worker bees like the generator. And that's just not our truth. Period. And generator, I ain't got no beef with y'all. I love what y'all do. Y'all inspire me. So that's not my beef with y'all. But I say that to say, like, this really goes back to hopefully we as a collective being able to see that each of us are designed different with a purpose, for a purpose. And like, we don't need generators acting like projectors and projectors acting like generators. There's no need for that because there's enough generators, and there's no need for a generator pre projector because we got what we need. Like, we can all hold our space and live according to our design, remember our soul essence, and live in harmony together. Nobody stepping on nobody's shoes, nobody trying to force anybody to be or do in ways that just aren't correct for them. All right, that's my tangent. I feel like everybody gets a tangent from me. Okay. Manifesting generators aura, they have a very open and enveloping aura, just like the pure generators, because they are a generator type. As much as a generator's name is manifesting generator, they are considered generators. The core of their aura essence is a generator. This aura draws in opportunities for that manifesting generator to respond to, and is empowered by the energy of the sacral center, that vital life force, baby. Okay, so let's talk about what the generator's aura feels like to me. So the way I feel the manifesting generator aura is that it is enveloping, it is very open, it's very spacious, it's very inviting. It is a magnet because you just like want in on it, and it makes sense because they do have that delicious sacral energy that I feel like I have I'm a projector, so I don't have a defined sacral, and there's just something delicious about it, right? Like, I don't know why. They're just this intuitively draw to manifesting generators and generators for me. There's just this draw to them, to invite them, to ask them things, to want to be a part of their lives, to give them something to respond to. Manifesting generators, and specifically that they're just a big ball of energy. And let me share an example with you. So I have a cousin who is a manifesting generator, and my cousin, before I really got into human design, and just FYI, when I came into contact with human design, I really did focus on my energy type and my chart and all the things for a good while before I started diving into other types. And even then, I was just into other types so that I can experiment and to see whether or not the information I was picking up about them felt correct for me, right? Whether or not I aligned with what was being written. And so, and this also entails, like, right, getting other people involved too by asking the manifesting generator, does this align for you? That's the kind of person I am, and that's what I do. So anywho, so I have this cousin who is a manifesting generator. I did not know she was a manifesting generator, but I remember always looking at her like, what are you doing? Like, why you got like 8 projects going on? It felt all over the place. It felt very scattered, very a lot, very intense, very like so much. And then like sometimes you would question, like, what are you even doing? And there was just like this grr about it, right? Like, don't question me, I know what I'm doing. Like, this defense energy that just would come out of them, and I thought that that was so interesting. Manifester. So when we finally pulled her chart and I saw that she was a manifesting generator, it made so much sense that she's multi-passionate, that she has all this energy to do all these things. She's all over the place. She doesn't research. She barely reads directions for things. And so sometimes she starts something, but she has to go back and fix it in order to perfect it. And it's just a whole thing where, like, I tend to be a very structured person. You know, I'm a 1-3 profile. So, like, clearly I care about research. I care about foundations, but that doesn't mean that everybody else does too. And specifically in my cousin's case, like, that was not her jam, that was not her thing. But you know, by learning about her type, I was able to support her more. I was able to stop projecting this expectation of her being more structured, being more like me, I guess, right? Or being more like what I'm used to, society okaying and giving their stamp of approval. Like, she gets to be free, she gets to be herself, she gets to be multi-passionate, she gets to exert her energy, her sacred energy every single day, doing the things that light her up. She gets to do that, she gets to do it all. And I don't need to disrupt that, I don't need to interrupt that, and neither does any of us. But I can see how easy it is for our own conditioning, our own I can just see how our own conditioning can really affect what we expect from other people and how we project onto them. So manifesting generator, I feel you, I love you, I'm here for you, and I'm your advocate every day, all day, because I want you to do all the things that light you up. More of it, please, because y'all are creative, y'all be going off. Like, I know that be like creating project after project after project and actually finishing it. Not to say that there's any wrong with ending in the middle of it, because that too is okay. If that's your vibe, I think that that's part of, your thing too. So do you, boo. I'm in support of you, and I want you to know that. Okay, so let's get into these characteristics. All right, let's get into it. Manifesting generator, you are a generator at your core with manifestor qualities. You are here to create and build, multitask. Manifesting generators have a non-linear approach to life. Finding shortcuts and mastering their craft is super important to them. By having that open and enveloping aura, they attract life to them. And for manifesting generators, because we know that they also have manifested qualities, so their aura can become close, repelling, and impacting, just like our manifestors, when they are in action and focused on doing something. So this has the purpose of preventing interference by energetically pushing obstacles out of their way. But the manifesting generator's success does not come from initiating. Like the generator, they'll wait for the correct opportunities to introduce themselves and for them to have an opportunity to respond to them. Manifesting generators manifest their success by honoring what lights them up and can generate and create quite quickly. Listen, I'm impressed with manifesting generators. When I tell you, I have watched manifesting generators create project after project after project. I mean, creative projects that require brain work, that requires, like, I guess for me, like, more time sitting with something. Like, I can't, it's like magic. It's like magic. I can't even explain it. It's just amazing and dope and just a gift to witness, in my opinion. So as I mentioned, so manifesting generators have the sacral center defined, just what it is. And they have a direct or indirect channel from a motor to the throat, right? And so a motor would be either their sacral, their solar plexus, or their heart is connected to the throat. And that's what actually makes them that manifestor. That's what gives them those manifestor qualities. So manifesting generators are here to learn themselves and about what lights them up. And like I mentioned, they are specifically manifesting generators are usually multi-passionate or multi-skilled. They are fueled by doing what they love and are here to generate from a space of joy and satisfaction. They are able to tap into their abundant source of creative energy through that sacral, that defined sacral. And again, that divine sacral is only for generators, meaning generators and manifesting generators are the only ones with that defined sacral, with that seductive life force energy, that creative energy, the yumminess. And that's not to say that we're not all creative, but there's just something about the sustainability of that energy. So manifesting generators, they often find joy in trying new things and squeezing the most out of life. Go manifesting generator, go manifesting generator, go. I just love it. I just love that for y'all. I love y'all life for y'all. I love y'all life for y'all. Manifesting generators are the busiest type and can be intense energetically. They are extremely dynamic and powerful people, and due to their ability to find the fastest and most efficient way to get things done, they are a great asset to the mainstream. So they are notorious for finding shortcuts, baby. If there's a shortcut, they the ones that's gonna find it. Okay, they gonna decide this part ain't even necessary. I can still create this without doing that part, so I'm gonna just skip that part and do it this way. And you know what, Manny Jen, do your thing, boo. You got the time to course correct when necessary. So you got that, do you? So they are known to be multitaskers and quick movers. And they are incredibly magnetic. I'm telling y'all, listen, you've met a manifesting generator. Ain't no way you met one before. And you know that there's just something about that energy that lights you up, that inspires you, that gets you to go, hey, let's go. And we're going to discuss more about the strategy for manifesting generators, but I do want to say that this is something huge that I do want to put out there for all the generators that are listening and people that know generators, so that we're not trying to pressure them or provoke them, or really, so that we're not projecting on them what we believe they should be doing or how they should be showing up. Generators and manifesting generators, it is so important for you to trust that life will come to you, and that for you to just be open about the opportunities that presents themselves. You don't need to go out there and make nothing happen. That is not what you do. That is not who you're called to be. So yeah, if you are feeling frustrated and all these other dense energies, I would check in to see, like, how are you showing up? How are you trying to force things? Are you trying to make things happen? Do you feel like you need to go out there and make things happen? I feel like, we are taught that. A lot of us are conditioned to be that way, that we have to go and make things happen. But what if you didn't? What if you did what lights you up? Continue to allow your aura to be bright and big and to flash that open sign for you, and you let life come to you, and then you just respond to the opportunities that are there, and you decide whether it's a yay or a nay, and then you keep trickling it along. Because the more you're engaging in things that feels correct for you, that lights you up, that excites you, the more that you're going to attract that kind of energy. We say we attract what we are. So if you're being joyful and satisfied in life, baby, you're going to attract more joyful and satisfying things in life. The reason why I wanted to talk about auras, not just how they operate, but I wanted to talk about the characteristics, so we can bring it back to this moment where we recognize that, like, hey, there's a reason why my aura is set up the way it is. There is a reason why my makeup is designed the way it is. We say that, and I said this in the intro, is that the definition decides the type, and the type decides the aura. It's all connected, baby. The way you are designed is intentional and purposeful for your purpose in this world. And I want to invite you to experiment with what human design, the insights it gives you, right? The type, it tells you what kind of type you are. So how your aura is working. Then we talk about strategy, okay? How you're communicating, right? You're here to respond. So are you doing that? Or are you out there trying to make things happen? What's going on? What's the tea, boo? I pray that you trust that as you are responding to life, that your path will be revealed to you. The more you say yes to things that light you up, the more opportunities that light you up will come. And then naturally, you will be living in your purpose. There's nothing you need to do but be honest with yourself. Trust your knowing, and make decisions that feel correct for you in accordance with your type, your authority, and your strategy. I feel like what's so interesting about human design is that it's talking about a mechanism. It's talking about a process that's naturally happening for us, right? Our auras are naturally communicating, whether we are aware of it or not. And so human design actually talks to it. Well, yeah, your aura is communicating. This is what it's communicating. Is that what you want to communicate? Do you feel like your aura is saying what it is you want it to say, right? I want to be lit up more. So am I saying yes to more things that light me up? Or am I trying to force opportunities? I'm throwing myself into opportunities that I don't actually enjoy at all, but I feel like I have to do it. And by doing that, you're dimming your own light. You're not being that bright life force. And I'm not saying like that's always the case. That's always the situation. These are just potential examples, potentials of what can be possibly happening. And also to let you know that, like, if you're not feeling satisfied in your life, if you are feeling frustrated, if you are feeling angry, that it's time to check in with yourself. Are you operating in a way that isn't correct for you? Are you operating by what you think you should be doing as opposed to what your body is communicating with you, what you're knowing, what your soul is actually inviting you to? Are you, like, what's the deal? What's the tea? Can we check in? What's going on? Manifesting generators has this open and enveloping aura that is designed to bring them many things to respond to, but they can get bogged down by responding to too much at once. So you want to be mindful of what you're saying yes to. You do not have to say yes to everything, and don't think that because you said no to an opportunity that another one won't come. No, baby. They keep coming in. They keep coming in. They keep coming in, babe. You're going to be good. Don't even worry about that. Don't worry about losing an opportunity. You ain't going to lose nothing. You ain't gotta say yes to everything. So another thing too, so generators are known for making these sacral sounds, these these like sacral sounds that they are known to make. And because the manifesting generator has this that connection to the throat, it is said that a lot of times many gens tend to bypass that sacral response. And right, that sacral response is letting you know what lights you up and what doesn't. So it actually is a big important key to, you know, what you're saying yes to and what you're responding to and how you're responding to it. So that is something to keep in mind, and definitely something to look into more and research. I think for me, it's easy to talk about all these signs because I'm not them, right? I can talk about projectors and all that and talk about my experience as a projector, but I'm not a Manny Gen, even though I get to experience y'all and I get to sample y'all. You know, like what these things mean for you and how they show up for you and how they express may be different than how I'm describing it. So just know that these are general things, but nonetheless, there's tons of information online. There's tons of manifesting generators out there who are human design guides, and so you can also see like how they are handling that life. I do know tons of Manny Gens, and I have been able to be a part of their inner circle and to support them on their journey, and also to recognize their magic and their gifts, and just, you know, how purposeful their makeup is and how important their makeup is, and how their difference from me is so important and necessary, and, you know, all the things. I wanted to talk a little bit about the difference between a manifesting generator and a pure generator. For starters, a manifesting generator does have their throat center powered by some motor center. Pure generator will not have that, but will still have their sacral center defined. The manifesting generator does have their sacral center defined, just like the pure generator. But unlike the generator, the manifesting generator does have their throat center powered by some motor center. When you have a motor connected to the throat, which is only the manifesting generators and the manifestors, you have the ability to manifest and take action based on the centers connected. Okay, that was fun. That was cute. I really do hope that this video is a reminder, or at least like help you recognize that we all have the ability to understand auras, to interpret auras, aka energy, and that this is not for the selective few. We all have the ability. When we are saying, I'm not feeling your vibe, this energy is just off, there's just something about them, we all are speaking the language of energy, where we're just like, I don't have um, a logical explanation, but something's off. I'm not feeling it, or I am feeling it. I'm just drawn to you. All these things are ways in which our auras are communicating with us, are providing us with information and all of the things. So I really do want to encourage you all to like trust your knowing, trust what's coming up for you, trust how your aura works, trust how what information your aura is providing for you, because your aura also, right, is part of what is defined within you. It's part of what your definition is, which also talks about your openness. Where are you vulnerable? Where might others be projecting on you? Where might others be conditioning you? Are you aware of the conditioning? Are you being mindful? You know, there's tons of things to consider and think about when we're talking about auras, when we're talking about our aura types, our energy types, when we're talking about what's defined and what's not defined, and what kind of information is provided through knowing the mechanics of these things in our body graph, you know? These things in our body graph. Sorry, I'm like looking all over my room. I'm really looking all over the place. Okay, focus, focus. So this was a little about the aura types. There are tons of information out there. For the most part, I just took a bunch of my resources and just gathered information for it about each type, while also considering how I feel the energy, how I interpret the energy, how the energy presents itself to me, for me to be able to know, like, I guess, how to respond to it, or what that aura is asking of me, or what it's provoking. Really, what that aura is provoking from me. Is it provoking me to ask a question for you to respond to? Is it provoking for me to invite you to something? You know, what exactly is it provoking? So I definitely want to encourage you to continue to research and even begin experimenting. I believe that believe that the experimentation starts with knowing your strategy, which is the next video we're going to go with. So not only do you need to know your type, I definitely would recommend you know your strategy, and I recommend you know your authority and allow that strategy and authority to really be the beginning of your experimentation with human design. And that's what we're going to be doing. We are going on an experiment journey. For those who are new to human design, this is definitely the beginning phases, and there's so many stories I can tell you. So if you have questions or anything like that, please feel free to reach out. I am here. I am open. I'm willing to be supportive to the extent that feels correct for me. So do what you will with that information. I also want to encourage you that if you already have a mindfulness practice or a way that you check in with yourself when it comes to self-awareness, I really do want to invite you to use some of these insights to help you pay a little bit more attention. How are people? What does your aura provoking people, right? What is it inviting from others? How does others respond to you? What do you notice? What patterns do you notice around you when it comes to how people just naturally react to you when they meet you? Or what do people say when you get to know them, and then they be like, oh, when I first met you, this is how I felt. Like, what do people say to you? Take inventory, have fun with it. You don't have to take it in as facts or as a judgment. It's just something to play around with, to experiment with. This is not about right or wrong. This is not about judgment. This is about you figuring out how you were called, or how you were designed to operate in this lifetime. That is it. No other pressure. It's just I say keep it light. Keep it light. Keep it light. Keep it light. Don't overwhelm yourself. You don't need to go out and do a whole bunch of things. Like, nah, boo. Nah, boo. Things to consider. How do you see, feel, experience your aura? How does others see, feel, experience you? You can ask people who know you really well. You can even look up other of your friends and family sign and see how you feel about their auras. Because remember, you will also be able to see, like, what does their aura provoking you, you know? So I definitely want to encourage you to play with it, test it out. This is a way for you to start experimenting with it by seeing, does this ring true for me? Does this feel aligned for me, you know? So that's the way to start. This isn't about, if it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. It's all good, you know? Like, it doesn't need to resonate. I know that there are things in human design that didn't resonate before that resonates now, or I didn't understand before that I understand now, and it's all good. It's all good. It doesn't make the system less or better or whatever. I personally enjoy it and love it, but that doesn't mean it's for everybody, and that's okay. And I also want to encourage you to make a game out of it. I know I've already said this before, but as a projector, one thing I do is I do have a game I kind of play between me and spirit or source or whatever you want to call it, where as a projector, it is very important that, you know, my energy is at a level where people can invite me to things, and my aura provokes recognition and invitation. So my aura provokes others to recognize me and invite me in. And so with that being said, one of the things that's really important to me, and I believe I was talking to generators about this too, is like being mindful of like what's happening in your energetic field, being mindful of how you're taking care of yourself, being mindful of how you feel, be mindful of how you're showing up. So one thing I do when I go outside is I'm always paying attention to how people interact with me. And this isn't a judgment on them. This is all about my aura. How are they naturally communicating with me? How are they naturally feeling about me? So for me, some things I look for is a smile, or like a little, there just seems to be like an eye contact, which is like an openness. There's just certain things that people do that gives me information about where my aura is. And in the sense of like what's going on with me. Right? Because I do have open solar plexus, right? So am I consumed with other people's feelings? Am I consumed with other people's projections, right? And is that showing up in my aura? Is that showing up for others to recognize? Is my aura muddy? Does I feel all over the place? Do it seem like I don't even recognize myself? Or, you know, like, what is my aura saying to people? Are people able to actually recognize my true essence, or are they recognizing the projections that I've allowed on myself? You know, like, those are the kind of questions I ask myself. And it's not about being right or wrong for me, but it has worked to let me know, like, I will go outside, and if not one person smiles at me or say hi, or if I'm in a store and someone isn't really nice to me, isn't really kind to me, or they aren't patient with me, or they aren't gentle. And it's not just about one person. It's like a collective experience I take in to determine, all right, this feels like this is where we are, this is not where we are, you know. And it personally gives me a lot of information. And some people, I've shared this with some people, and some people are like really shocked. They're like, really, like that feels like a lot? But I'm like, no, like for me it doesn't feel like a lot, because I understand how I am called to operate. I understand how my makeup is. I understand, and I truly believe that people get excited about me. There's something about my energy that makes people feel seen, feel accepted, feel invited in. There's something about my aura that provides that for people. So I do expect a certain response from the world, and I do get it almost always. So when I'm not getting it, I'm like, I just get curious about it. And it doesn't matter to me one way. It doesn't, like, I'm not putting a lot of pressure on how people treat me. It's just for me to check in. It's me gauge where I am, and that's all it is. But it's fun. I really, really enjoy it, and it's quite interesting, the information I pick up through that experimentation for myself. And I do rely on that a lot. And I'm always in awe about how people are with me, especially when people aren't kind. I was just like, okay. And I wasn't always like this, but there's levels to it. And I mean, this can also go to the fact that I'm a Leo sun and Leo moon, so that can also be playing a part in why I expect this attention or whatever else. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. So the goal is to master your strategy and authority, and that is what begins your experimentation through human design. And so next up is strategy, and I'm so excited to talk about it. Yo, reflectors, I feel like I am going to need to create y'all a very, very lengthy video, or not. I thank you for rocking with me. I thank you for being here with me. I'm so proud I got through this. I did all these recordings in one day, and I pray that these videos are helpful to you, as fun as they were for me to prepare for and to do. So I love you all. I appreciate you all. Let's go.